Hello, my beautiful beings of light and love. My name is Natalie, and this is Natalie Levin Astrology, and I am so honored and thrilled to be asked yet again to share full moon guidance for Nadiya Shah's incredible YouTube channel. I am deeply honored and humbled, and thank you all so much who comment on my videos when I'm on here. And I love reading what comes up for you as I share what comes up for me as I'm looking at the astrology for the particular full moons, which I have done before. And this full moon that I will be talking about is for April 6th, 2023 at 12:34 a.m. And this is going to be a full moon in Libra. And I want to let you all know that as I'm speaking, I invite you to keep in mind that I am seeing the astrology through the veil of my experience in this particular lifetime. So if it doesn't match for you, let it go. You get to take what you like and leave the rest. And I also want to honor that the way I talk about the astrology, I see this as a chart synastry thing. It might not vibrate your chart in a way that is understandable for you. I will let you know that I have Mercury and the Sun combust, which means they're at the same exact degree in Pisces. And I also have my moon in Cancer. And so it's a lot of water through which and I'm a Cancer rising, and my moon is trining my Sun and my Mercury. So I am speaking through a lot of water elements. And you might be here on Nadiya Shah's channel and you might not speak that language. It might not resonate for you. So I invite you again, if my vibration, the way my chart vibrates yours doesn't work for you, let it go. I am excited for me with so much water to see that this full moon is happening in air, and there's a fire sun and an air moon. And I'm like, oh, phew, because we are coming right now out of March. I'm making this video, I'll let you know, I'm making this video in March. It's March 27th when I'm making this video for the full moon on April 6th, 2023. And we have all just come out of such March has been this incredible machination of shifts and energy changes that I am making up a story that a lot of you are like, oh, what just happened? Oh my goddess. I can't see straight. I don't even know what just hit me. March hit you. Yes. So here's some things that we're coming out of as we land in this full moon. We're coming out of Saturn having moved into Pisces on March 7th. We had Chiron and Jupiter in Aries, which is super young, primal needs, conjuncting on March 10th. We had on March 20, around like, oh gosh, in the middle there somewhere, we had Neptune, which is confusion and fog, squaring with Mars, which is in Gemini, which is how our minds work. So there's a lot of confusion, a lot of fog, a lot of not being able to see clearly. We also had Pluto move into Aquarius for the first pass. So I have like cat hair on me because I'm talking about Gemini, and Gemini rules cats. We had Pluto move into Aquarius on March 23rd. This is not a small deal. This is a very big deal. And then we also just had on March 25th, Mars move into Cancer after being in Gemini for 8 months. So that is a lot that we're bringing into this April time. Oh my goodness. So I want to really honor how much the ingredients in the cauldron have changed and shifted. And the cauldron of stew and soup is different now than it was in February. So here we come into this full moon, and we have this lighting up Aries, the sun in Aries, this fire for this, oh my gosh, the sun, as this full moon is happening, the sun and Chiron are conjunct. The sun is between our youngest wounds and Jupiter, which makes everything bigger. So that energy is happening as the full moon is occurring in the relationship the sign of relationships, Libra. The full moon is going to be in Libra. So I am wondering, as you are listening to this, is stuff coming up for you? This is general. This is not a by sign or rising sign yet. I will go into that. I'm wondering what it's like to be in your skin right now with around your relationships. It can be love relationships, it can be romantic, it can also be your relationship to your job, your relationship to yourself, your relationship to your family members. What is coming up for you? What is it like to be in your skin around the subject of relationships right now? Are things shifting? Are things becoming evident to you about, oh, I actually, my youngest parts of myself are calling out, are voracious for nutrients and nurturance that this relationship with my job, with my partner, with my friends, is not, that part of me is not being fed. And it's very evident right now. I would say that it's pretty clear because we have this incredible Chiron in Aries, super young wounding, where I did not receive attunement, who didn't attune to me, and where is that missing? Is it missing in this primary partnership? Is it missing in my relationship to myself? Is it missing in how I actually believe spirit, guides, angels can care for me and attune to me and do I actually talk to them? Do I allow them in? These are rhetorical questions. I don't expect you to have answers at this point. While this full moon is happening, we also have 1, 2, 3, the way I pull the chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planets and asteroids and placements, including the North Node in Taurus. So there is also an invitation. How can I ground this energy down into my body? How can I, Taurus is the most incarnate energy. How can I find some pleasure and delight in being in my human body while this full moon is happening? So even though I might be having many big emotions about my relationships with work, with my family, with my partners, I might be having many big emotions around those. And I can also look at the astrology and invite myself to use all of this Taurus energy to ground onto Mother Gaia. I'm going to go out and roll around on the grass. I'm going to go hug a tree. I'm going to go have a big, hearty, delicious meal that nurtures me. If I'm not a drinker, but if you are, I'm going to have the finest wine. I'm going to have the finest wine. I'm going to do things. Venus is in Taurus. She loves it there. She wants the finest of the fine. I'm going to lay my head on a pillow that has the softest pillowcase as part of how I care for myself around this energy that is up right now. I wonder how this is landing for you. Is this resounding? I mean, at the same time, we are having Saturn is in Pisces and he's sextiling Mercury in Taurus. So it's, I feel like making some practical systems and structures around the way I connect to spirit, the way I connect to my connection to higher power, my connection to the etheric. Can I do that in some sort of grounded, earthy way? Again, for me, it does turn into, I'm like saying hello to the flowers. I'm talking, there are elementals, there's fairies that you can, again, take what you like and leave the rest, but there are fairies who live in the flowers, in the blossoms. Can you go talk to them? That would be a Saturn in Pisces sextiling Mercury in Taurus energy for me. Like, what would that feel like for you? Those are coming up for me as suggestions of ways for you to support yourself during this full moon. This is in general. And now I'm going to go into sign by sign. So I will pause this and I also will in the comments put in the delineations of when each sign starts. So you can click on the time signature in the comments to get to your sign and rising sign. These next things will be good for both your sun sign and your rising sign and those of all the beings that you love. So I hope this feels helpful. Aries and Aries rising, thank you so much for choosing to incarnate. Without you, nothing would really get done. on the planet. So thank you. I am grateful for you. You have this full moon for you is happening in your relationship, your long-term relationships area of your chart. So Aries rising, if relationship stuff has not been arising for you yet, I'm imagining that this full moon is going to put a highlight on it. It could be, oh, I'm stepping into a new relationship with a friend, a romantic partner, and I'm able to see what I need more clearly. I am able to understand how this affects me and where am I responsible as an Aries rising for attuning to my most basic needs, and where is it okay, where is it appropriate for me to ask for help. It might be that you as an Aries rising are in some sort of a situation where your partner, let's pretend you're in a long-term marriage and your partner is having some physical challenges and you're like, oh my gosh, I really want it to be all about me, but this is life on life's terms. This is me doing the advanced work of relationship. Without relationship, Aries rising could quite possibly remain very, this is not about you as an Aries rising, but the energy of it could remain very self-focused, self-centered. I'm stuck in thinking about myself all the time. And when I'm in relationship, which this full moon is illuminating, I get to be invited to grow my energetic container, to be able to expand beyond the self. Aries rising, Chiron is also involved in this conversation right now. So it could, if you get stuck, Aries rising, in some sort of a very young place where you're like, oh my gosh, I really can't, I feel like I want to have a tantrum, I want to have a fit, I am furious. I wouldn't be surprised if that were to happen with this full moon. When and if that is coming up for you, it can also be around your relationship to work. It can be relationships with you, with contractual relationships with people. Like, let's say Aries, my Aries friends, that you're working with a contractor, like someone is, you've hired someone to come and repave your driveway, and that contractor is not living up to your expectations. I invite you to check in with yourself before you actually allow a big explosion, your words to come out with abandon. Could you invite yourself to pause with this full moon energy? Can you pause and wait, and maybe wait till the full moon, maybe wait 24 hours to communicate with the contractor, because that area of your chart is getting illuminated right now with this full moon. You might see something that is like, oh, this is not working for me, we need to change contractors. Or it could, let's go positive too. It could be, oh my gosh, this contractor is so amazing. I am enjoying how she is repaving our driveway. Yes, yes, bring it. I'm going to tell you how wonderful you are. I'm going to use my Aries impulsiveness and delight and joy to say, thank you. Thank you for what a gorgeous job you're doing. I'm going to use the sextile happening for me between Mercury and Saturn to communicate. It's almost like if I'm an Aries rising, I'm going to communicate with spirit, Mercury in Taurus, to bring loving words to you, contractor or person in my partnership or my mother or my child. I'm going to use this energy to indulge impulses that create positive energy. I will own that I tend to be a little more Pollyanna in when I am looking at the astrology. So I want to own that about the way I'm seeing it. And you might be having it just might be hard. It might not be easy for you. And I want to, if that's your if that is your experience, I witness you and I see you. So it feels like I'm excited for you, Aries rising, with this full moon. It feels really like you get to lean into your sense of yourself, check in with all of this amazing, gorgeous Aries impulsive energy, And notice if the words that want to come out of your mouth are going to cause harm, and maybe wait 24 hours before actually saying them. I'd love to hear what comes up for you after you listen to this. And if you're open to sharing in the comments, I'd love to read that. Hello, Taurus suns and Taurus risings. Taurus suns and Taurus rising. This full moon for you, this full moon in Libra, is happening in your 6th house. It's illuminating your house of health, your daily routines, small animals. What do you do every day kind of situation? Like, I wake up and I brush my teeth and I go take a shower and I maybe go out and take a walk. That kind of situation is illuminated right now with the full moon in your 6th house, this full moon in Libra in the 6th house. I also want to invite you to know that you are having the 12th house, which is your house of spirit, your house of connection to the all that is, your house of also energy of spirits leaving their bodies, and your connection to those beings is also getting illuminated with this full moon, because the sun is there for you in this particular full moon. So what comes up for me, for you, Taurus risings, is how I know it can feel like, what do I want to do? What is my relationship with the way I do my daily routine? Do I like this? Do I like brushing my teeth in the morning? Do I want to do it at night instead? Do I want to add a third brushing session in? Like, you get to have a conversation with yourself around, what is it like for me to be in relationship with this routine? What is it like for me to be in relationship with the way I work with my own health? All kinds of health. It can be spiritual, emotional, physical, intellectual. Like, if I'm a Taurus rising and I'm noticing that my mind is not working the way I, in my fantasy world, would like it to work, maybe I want to see what it's like to only listen to music that, like, there's binaural beats online. Maybe I want to listen to binaural beats for concentration and having my mind work really, really well. You can find this on YouTube. So maybe you start to listen to that and see for a week. If you listen to it for, like, let's say a half hour for a week, if something about the way your mind works feels healthier and clearer and more resonant, this is something that you could come up for you around this full moon in Libra, which is also, Libra is artistic. Libra is you allowing in new ways of connecting with artistry. Maybe there is, for Taurus rising, also, here I am, I'm also dealing with 12th house stuff as a Taurus rising with this full moon. Do I want to allow a new way of relating to spirit to come into my realm? Do I want to, if I am someone who's looking for a new community of like-minded people, do I want to go try, I don't know if people do go to church anymore, but do I want to go try a new church? Do I want to go try a new circle of psychics? Do I want to go and dance around with people who love to frolic through the woods? I mean, Taurus is the energy of connecting with Mother Gaia so deeply. So maybe that's coming up for you right now, Taurus risings. I wonder how this lands with you. How is it feeling to hear me say that? I mean, you do have, with this, you have so much happening in your sign right now, Taurus risings, on this full moon. You are having an ability to communicate a little more. You're supported in communicating. You have Mercury in your sign. You have Venus in your sign. So I feel like there's an invitation to enjoy the fact that you are a Taurus rising. Like, what can you do to remember that you're a spirit and you happen to incarnate in this physical form, which is an honor and a privilege to be a human being in a human body, even though it can feel like this might be me projecting onto you, but it can feel like a prison sometimes to have to squeeze our expansive human spirits into this little human, our expansive spirits into this little human form. So how can you feel more expansive right now, Taurus, Taurus risings, with you still have Uranus in your sign. So there's this awakening energy happening over and over and over for you. And it feels like a really fertile and delicious full moon with Venus rules Libra and Venus rules Taurus. So there's a lot of Venusian energy around this full moon. Where can I connect in with the goddess Aphrodite? Do I want to go see some art on this full moon? Do I want to listen to some beautiful music? Do I want to create art? Do I want to be the painter? Do I want to be the one singing? How does this land for you, Taurus, Taurus risings? I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear in the comments if you're open to sharing. Gemini suns and Gemini risings. This full moon is in your fun house. I'm excited for you. It's in your 5th house and it's in an air sign, which means it's trining you in general, like depending on where you're, if you have your birthday, if your sun is at like 14, 15, 16, 17, or 18 degrees of Gemini, this full moon is trining your sun in the house of fun and hobbies and sports. Like, I'm gonna go hit a baseball. I don't know, maybe baseball isn't worldwide. I know people listening to this are worldwide. Yeah, that sounds really nice, Gemini risings. I'm excited for you for this full moon. It's also in your house of communities and groups and friends, and it is asking you to be curious. How do I relate to do I know what is fun for me? What feels fun for me as a Gemini rising? Do I like to, maybe this is an invitation, again, with this full moon in Libra, which is ruled by Venus. Venus is the goddess of beauty and love. Maybe it would be fun for me on this particular full moon to go out and go see some art and talk about it with my friends. Maybe I want to read a new book that's so fun and exciting, but I also am having so much energy right now as a Gemini rising with this full moon. I'm having so much energy in my very social part of my chart that maybe I don't want to sit still and read a book. I have like 5 planets, including asteroids right now, the way I pulled the chart in my friends and communities and groups area of my chart. So maybe I actually want to use this full moon to go and relate. Full moon in Libra. Maybe I want to go out and talk to people. I want to go meet people. I want to go dancing. And you are all coming out of having Mars just been in your sign for 8 months, Gemini risings. So you also might be tired. I want to honor that you might be pooped. Like, you just might need a break. You might need to rest. And full moons bring up so much illuminating energy. It's so much picture that the full moon is pulling Gemini risings on the oceans, and the oceans get so affected, and our bodies are made of, I've heard, 85% water. So your body, even though you are an air sign, Gemini rising, you also are having the waters of your body pulled on with this full moon. So if the energy that is bubbling up as I'm looking at it for you does not match your experience, I invite you to go with what it feels like to be in your skin right now. You are your own guru. You get to you are in charge of you. You have your 12th house for this full moon is very populated, and there is an invitation. The 12th house is, can I go and connect in with spirit? Can I go talk to my guides? Can I talk to my angels with this full moon? Maybe as I'm going to go be in a social setting, maybe what I do is I say, okay, I give thanks that I am divinely led and divinely protected, so that I meet exactly the right beings who are here to uplift me. I give thanks as a Gemini risings that the way I have fun is serving my highest good and serving my delight and joy in being human. Yeah, because you have so much amazing ability, Geminis, to have all this mental activity and you have cerebral talents and skills for communicating and writing and talking. And the way the full moon is landing for your charts, you're also being invited to check in with how do I want to make it more like that I can touch it, hold it, feel it, not so much air, in the way I talk to spirit, in the way I remember that I am not just a brain. I am not just a data producer, a data digester and a data producer. How do I want to bring in more down into the lower parts of my body? Like, how do I want to bring the mental down into the lower parts of my body with this full moon? Yeah, I wonder how this is landing for you. This is what's coming through for me as I'm looking at the chart for the full moon for you. I wonder if this is making sense. I guess more will be revealed as the full moon actually happens. And you, again, it's a very beautiful, harmonious trine for your sign that you're having. So I feel like this is, it feels really like a lovely and auspicious full moon for you. And the invitation is, I'm going to bring some of all of this mental talent and skill and bring it, I don't want to use the word concretize, but like make it more earthy. Maybe it would feel good for me, since this is happening in spring, at least in the United States, to go out and actually dig in some earth to get out of the brain, out of the mind, and into the earth and see what that feels like. How does this land for you? I'm curious. I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear in the comments. Cancer moon, no, Cancer sun, Cancer rising. I'm so excited to report to you that you have this full moon in your area of your chart that's around your home. And I'm a Cancer rising, I'm a Cancer moon, but this is for rising and sun, not moon. What comes up for me immediately is Venus is the ruler of Libra. So how do I want to make my home, where I live, where I feel like I create this energetic womb space for myself? How do I want to Venushify it? How do I want to bring Venus into that conversation on this full moon? Is there some part of my house that I want to make more beautiful? Is there something that feels like I could bring in a little more luxury? Is there I personally love a nice pillowcase, like a really soft pillowcase against my cheek. So maybe, is there something that I want to do I want to get a really super high thread count pillowcase, one of them, so that I have it against my skin and I'm like, this is Venus kissing me, the goddess of love, the goddess of beauty. This is for Cancer suns and Cancer risings for this full moon. It also can bring up, I mean, this is really nice because it's in your house. The fourth house is the Cancer house. So it's also, how do I relate to my Cancerian energy? Am I always, is in my relating to my Cancerian energy, am I always nurturing others? Am I always caring for others? Am I able to allow nurturance into myself? What is my relationship with that? Do I allow others? Libra is relationship. There's two, there's like a balance. Do I allow others to care for me, or am I like, get the heck away from me? I will self-disclose that I am not, what is this? Oh, it's like a chip in my wall. That could be a place where I could Venushify I could put Venus into my home. So it is hard for me to receive nurturance I want to always put it out, give it. So, and also here with this full moon in your fourth house, Cancer risings, you're also being asked, it affects the way you are in your home, in your private life, in your home, affects also the way you are seen out in the public eye. And this is also, this full moon has an illumination. The sun is in your career area of your chart while this full moon is happening. So how do I put on, this is such a trite saying, but how do I put on my own oxygen mask first so that I then can go out into the world, 10th house stuff, and actually help others? How do I care for myself in that way? There's a lot of energy with this full moon in the 11th house for you, Cancer risings as well. So when I am able to care for my own inner world and my own space, and know that I am tending to my emotional world well, and relating to my emotions in a healthy way, as opposed to going out, either as opposed to maybe the shadow side of Cancer is I'm pulling inside my Cancerian shell. I'm not actually relating to anybody because I am, it's too scary. I might get hurt. And yes, part of how I'll speak for myself, and then you can take what you like and leave the rest. Cancer risings. The ability to grow and change can only happen in relationship with other people, situations. If I'm not actually, if you are staying in your cozy home all the time and not actually getting out there and relating to other people, it is not going to invite you to grow. And you might not want to grow. You might not want to. You might be like, I am fine here in my cozy home. And that might be part of your chart's destiny in this lifetime. If you're interested in, it's a little intense to be in relationship with other people. That's how we chafe up and get irritated by others. And then we are invited to grow our energetic containers more expansively and with more, we have the invitation to have more grace for ourselves and therefore for others as we like here's an example. I noticed that the way that person is holding her head is irritating me because I'm actually out in the world noticing something like that. And then I get to self-reflect. Here's all this Aries energy that is also up with this full moon. Aries, the self. I'm going to reflect and say, what is it in me that is so bothered by the way that person's holding her head? Oh, it's reminding me of this really mean teacher that I had in first grade, and I haven't really thought about it in a long time. And now it's up, Chiron conjunct the sun. And I can, allow myself to have some feelings about that now, and maybe open up that wound so it can be irrigated more deeply and therefore heal more profoundly. Whew. How does this land with you? I'd love to hear, Cancer risings. Leo risings. You have this amazing full moon in your third house, which for me is like, how is Leo and Leo rising going to express itself? How are you going to express yourself, Leo risings, during this full moon? Is something coming up for you that you want to write? You want to speak? Do you want to invite some more artistry? Libra is artistry into how you, I feel like if you're a Leo rising and you've been like sort of been curious about being on stage. Everyone tells me Leos are the spotlight, but I'm shy. This would be a full moon to be like, I'm going to just stand up here. I'm going to make, either you're going to go on stage somewhere like an open mic or a karaoke, or you're going to go and sit. You say, I'm going to make my own YouTube channel. I am going to get on camera, use my phone camera and get on camera and say something that I know because of the life experience I have had. No one else has had this lifetime that I'm having right now. I'm going to shine my Leo light and use this full moon in Venus to illuminate my house of communication. And maybe the way I speak and communicate from the heart center, which is Leo, from this amber golden light, which is my heart. Maybe the way I communicate and speak is going to excite someone else, because this is also illuminating the 9th house, which is the house of me, of either I or other people seeing me as a teacher. I'm the teacher or they're the teacher, and they are invited to expand their consciousness, expand the way they see the world, expand the way their brains work, because of me shining my light in the 3rd house for this full moon in April, on April 6th in Libra. I love that. That just came through, and I wonder how that feels for you. It's so, it just, I love that for you, Leo risings. It's so beautiful. It's so, it's also like maybe the way way my mind is working, the way I'm thinking and communicating invites me to go on some journeys, either in my inner world, like I'm actually going to expand my consciousness, or I'm actually going to plan a trip and go somewhere. I'm like out of breath because I'm excited for you. And it feels like a really nice time career-wise as well for you with this full moon, Leo risings, because you have so much delicious energy in your 10th house while this full moon is happening. It's like, oh my goodness, there's abundance. I have Venus in my 10th house in Taurus for that is for Leo risings for this full moon. There's abundance, there's surprises, there's shock, there's me awakening. Maybe the way I am in the realms of the public eye is there's an awakening happening, epiphanies. Maybe I'm being invited to step more into my my value and my worth in my career and the way people see me out in public. Maybe I'm ready to like really own I am amazing. I am wonderful for many reasons. How is this landing for you? You know, you are having it is coinciding, this full moon in Libra, with the marriage and contractual relationships area of your chart being aspected by Pluto. So I do want to honor that you might be like, I don't know what she's talking about, because I'm having a hard time in my relationship, in my primary relationships, in my contractual relationships. So I want to honor that that also might be coming up for you with this full moon at the same time. And I invite you to go gently with yourself, go gently with others. Notice where you give your power away and land in victim mentality, and where you lord your power over others. Can you lean into that and pay attention to that as you are relating with this full moon in Libra to other people, with Pluto at the same time starting his transit through your marriage area of your chart, your contractual area of your chart, your long-term relationship area of your chart. Whew. This is an exciting full moon. I'm excited. Hello, Virgos, Virgo risings. I lost my Virgo focus as I was starting your sign, and my earbuds were out of my ears, and now my Virgo focus is here. And I am seeing that this full moon is happening in your second house of home and your finances. It's illuminating that area of your chart for you. So what comes up for me, Virgo rising, is Venus is involved in this full moon, and Venus is related to a sense of worth, a sense of values. I feel like this is an auspicious full moon for your area of your chart that's around finances. I feel like it's supportive. I feel like you get to call in Aphrodite, say, Aphrodite, I am calling you. I want your support. I give thanks to you that you are serving my highest good. What can you do, Virgo risings, to invite in an expansive mindset? Can you also dive into the sun is going to be lighting up your 8th house for this full moon, Virgo risings. So this is an invitation for you to dive into the deepest depths of your psyche and spirit and soul and say, where are there treasures of unplundered magic that I have not seen yet? What do I want to impulsively, Aries, it's an Aries energy in your 8th house for this full moon. What do I want to impulsively dive into, go spelunking into the most powerful magical recesses of my psyche, which is the Greek word for soul, to bring out treasures. Maybe there's a connection to tarot that you have not been thinking about, Virgo risings. Maybe there's a new deck of cards that calls you. Maybe you buy yourself a magical crystal ball and you have it like as an, or you do some ceremonial activities at an altar for this full moon that invite in abundance, that invite in your ability to, even though you are an incredibly a gorgeous earth sign, can you also allow in, okay, I'm going to remember that the 3D is not all that all there is. I'm going to connect in with the vibrations of the planets. I'm going to remember as a Virgo rising that I have Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty, the goddess of love supporting me. I'm going to remember that I am being invited these days to do powerful transformational work about connecting to spirit with Saturn entering with this, while this full moon is happening. Saturn is just starting to traverse your marriage area of your chart and the way you are in contractual relationships. I'm going as a Virgo rising, how do I allow spirit to land in my relationships? How do I also notice I wanted Pluto for you, Virgo risings, is entering your 6th house, which is your daily life, daily routine area of your chart and health. How do I want to claim my power? Like if I'm Aphrodite, I know I'm focusing on Venus a lot here because she is so loud in this full moon. If I'm Aphrodite, I am standing there, I'm saying, I am the goddess of beauty and love. I am going to do this to care for my beautiful, precious self in the areas of health. This is for Virgo rising, in the areas of my daily routine. Instead of giving my power away and saying, oh, for example, oh, alcohol, I'm giving my power to you and I'm gonna like wait. I can't wait till work is over so I can go and have a drink. Maybe now with Pluto in Aquarius and this full moon, the way you relate to that area of your chart, this full moon is actually trining your health house. I'm going to invite myself to say, wait, I don't give my power away anymore to alcohol. I'm going to see what it's like for me to not have a drink after work and see what more is revealed in that pause. How does this land for you, Virgo risings? I don't know, that image just came to me, so I'm going to trust it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to go with it and see what comes up for you. Thank you so much. I'd love to hear in the comments. Libra rising. This full moon is in your sign. Woohoo! That's nice. It's in your 1st house. Oh, that's so just like yummy, especially because I love that Libra is ruled by Venus. So delicious. You get to have an illumination, Libras, of your most basic sense of yourself, like your root, the root of your isness. Go down to, I'm gonna say it again, like the place there, your perineum. That is where I feel like this full moon is illuminating. I hope that's okay to say on this video. You never know what's going to get censored, but it really is. It's like, okay, who am I at my root as a Libra rising? I'm getting this illumination. I have Venus as my ruling planet. It is artistry. I'm an air sign. I have the ability to communicate. There is an element, a very powerful element of relationships that I carry, a vibration of that as I am around and going around in the world. I am being invited with this full moon to talk loudly to my 7th house, which is the marriage area of my chart. It's also me in contractual relationships with others. So you might find Libra risings that you're having a conversation. How do I want to, is there some sort of an illumination, or do I want to step more fully into being in relationship with my partner? with my job, with the person I've hired as a contractor? Do I want to be more involved? Do I want to talk to the contractor and say, you know what, I really love this particular color, bubblegum pink? I was my own contractor, but if you have hired someone, you might actually say, I want to check in with you. Can we dive into a few more shades of pink and see what this looks like? Can we expand? Libra risings, you do have Mars right now traversing your career area of your chart. So you there might be this, oh man, I felt like I wanted to have fire for my career. I wanted to like be pumped up for my career, but I'm having trouble because my get up and go is all wet. My get up and go is Mars and it's in the water and he's doused. And I'm feeling like maybe I want to focus more on my relationship and sense of being here at home, and how do I want to make my home feel more yummy, more delicious? How do I want to feel more connected? At the same time, Libra risings, you are having this invitation to check in with how you have fun. This full moon for you is trining your fun house. So is the way I have fun, am I losing power the way I have fun? Is the way I have fun, do I go out and like have such a big party that I have nothing left for like 3 days? Do I want to actually invite myself to do some transformational work around that? Pluto in your 5th house right now. Do I want to invite myself to maybe have some questions? The way I go out, maybe I don't stay out till 6 a.m. Maybe I actually come home at like 2 and get about 5 hours of sleep before I have to go do the next day. Does that help me to feel more in control? That I am empowered. I'm not victimized by my lifestyle. How does this land with you? Is this making sense? This is what's coming through right now, so I'm simply saying it. You have lots of power and planets, Libra risings, for this full moon in your 8th house right now. You have like 5 or 6 planets there. So you are being invited to awaken to your magic, awaken to the power you have to connect in with the shadows that maybe sometimes you don't want to look at, because it can disrupt a sense of balance to actually allow in the shadow. And then when you start to digest it and integrate it, there can be an invitation and allowing that invites a deeper sense of balance, a deeper sense of knowing, a deeper sense of I actually feel balanced in a more profound way. It's not just surface anymore. Is this making sense to you, Libra risings? I'd love to hear in the comments. Scorpio and Scorpio rising. Hello. This full moon is in your 12th house. It's in your 12th house of connect to spirit, which you probably already do because you're a Scorpio and a Scorpio rising. You probably know that spirit exists. You don't necessarily say it's only the 3-dimensional that I believe in. I really imagine, I love my Scorpio friends and Scorpio risings and all my Scorpio beings, because I know that you know that not only is there magic in connecting to spirit and divine and goddess, God, angels, but you also know that there is magic in connecting with the shadow. And if you don't know, if you are a Scorpio and a Scorpio rising and you don't know that yet, I'm imagining more will be revealed as you are in your body. So you get to have this full moon illuminating in like this delicious Libran way of art and yumminess in your 12th house for this full moon. So it's if I'm a Scorpio rising, is there some sort of a do I want to have a delicious feast? I am recording this while I'm hungry, so I will say that. Do I want to have a delicious feast to commemorate this full moon? Do I want to, while I'm eating, really connect in? Like, let's pretend I do eat meat, so let's pretend I'm eating this steak and I'm like, oh, thank you, spirit of the cow for giving me, like, so I use the food as a vehicle to connect with spirit. Thank you, spirit of the cow, for allowing me to gain sustenance from your life. I give thanks. Maybe there's an invitation with this full moon in Libra for you, Scorpio rising, to do some sort of ecstatic dance as this full moon is happening. I mean, as a way to connect to spirit, that's coming up for me as well. It's also coming up for me because the full moon in Libra is across from, on your chart, it's also dancing with this energy of the sixth house, which is ruled by Virgo. And Virgo for me is also, I know Virgo energy is, I'm diving into the earth realm, my body, my physical body, and it's mutable. So Scorpios and Scorpio risings, you guys are fixed sign, you're fixed water. It's like I am the stream and the river, and I'm pouring over the cliff, and I keep going and going, and I have one direction. And you are being invited with this full moon to, for what's coming up for me is allow a little bit of flexibility into your body. What would that be like? What would it be like even to just like, well, I'm not going to jump around because I shake my computer, but like jump around or do something that is not stuck, not fixed for this full moon. You're also having, it's a lot, it feels like a lot of energy for the Scorpio rising. This full moon, it also is in a sign, it's in Libra that is next to you. And Scorpio energy and Libra energy, because of where it is on the chart, can't really, it's like, I can't quite see you, Libra full moon. I know you're there. I know you're illuminating something in my chart as a Scorpio, but I can't quite see it. So maybe if you get some movement into your actual physical body, there will be some, like, for a moment, you'll catch a glimpse of the full moon out of the corner of your eye. You'll catch a glimpse of, how do I relate to others? What do I want to do to bring more magic and mystery into the way I relate to other beings? I am having a lot of energy with this full moon as a Scorpio rising. I'm having a lot of energy in my marriage and long-term relationship area of my chart. Is there something that wants to be shaken up in there? Can I allow some light, some beautiful, soft lunar light to shine on my relationship? Can I allow, there is, I mean, Scorpio rising, you are having Pluto entering a square with your sign for like the next 20 years, and where it's landing is your family of origin area of your chart. So I also want to say there might be some big emotions or heavy or profound emotions coming up for you as you are having this full moon in Libra. And I wonder what it would be like. Again, it's this energy of moving your body in some way, or moving the energy through yourself so that it doesn't get stuck in the because the full moon in Libra wants you to be able to relate to others. And when we get stuck, it can be harder to actually be relatable. How do I relate when I'm not able to be flexible and go with the flow and allow that you also are another human being having your own experience in this lifetime, and I'm not able to make any adjustments for that? So can I allow, as a Scorpio rising, some movement into maybe the physical body then allows the inner world to shake up as well? As above, so below, as without, so within. How does this land with you? Is that making sense to you? I'd love to hear in the comments. Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising, this full moon in Libra is in your beautiful 11th house, which just feels really nice because it's in Libra, which is relationships, and the 11th house is this amazing and wonderful house of groups, communities, and friends and connectedness. So it feels very supportive for you, Sagittarius risings, which that sounds so lovely. Like, it's this, okay, I'm a Sagittarius rising, which I have a lot of Sagittarius in my chart. And I feel like Sagittarius energy wants to go out and you get to, how do you want to travel even in your circles of friends for this full moon, Sagittarius rising? Is there a way that you want to actually, like, oh my gosh, I have been missing Janine for so long, I'm going to go reach out to her on this full moon. I'm going to say, Janine, let's go get a coffee. Janine, let's go have some fun. I want to expand my consciousness, Sagittarius rising. That's this energy, by relating to other people and getting new points of view and allowing myself to be awakened to different ways of being conscious as I relate full moon in Libra relationships to others. And I also, because this full moon is lighting up also with the sun in Aries, it's lighting up my fun house of my chart. That is, what do I want to do? What will feel fun for me? What is fun? What sounds like a good time on this full moon? Do I want to go out and do some very physically active activities, because you're having the energy of Aries, which is the athletes, in your fun house for this full moon. So how do you want to activate your inner hero, your inner athlete, your inner I'm going out and being impulsive. I'm impulsively going to go dancing. I just went dancing this past weekend, and I haven't danced in a very, very long time, and it was really fun. So that is on my mind right now. I'm recording this as that's on my mind right now. You are also having, I want to honor that as a Sagittarius rising, you are having, with some of the shifts that we've just had are affecting like your family of origin area of your chart. You're having Saturn there. Saturn moving through your fourth house. It's just starting. So you might be having some family of origin stuff that you need to tend to, or you tending to your home as this full moon is happening. So even though you might want to go out and have a super fun time and be super social, you also might not have the bandwidth or the actual ability, because Saturn is saying, oh, no, you have to stay home and take care of your family, take care of your home. So that also could be happening at this time. But if you do have the freedom, I would say maybe get out, can you go to a museum with a friend? Can you go see some art, listen to music, do something that involves beauty and deliciousness, or go out to it for a meal at a place that you love. Venus is involved in this conversation, Aphrodite. So, and as this beautiful Sagittarian with Jupiter as your ruling planet, can you invite an expansiveness? Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. So what kind of really big, exciting, star-filled ideas can you have for celebrating this full moon? There is a lot of energy also in your daily life and daily routine area of your chart as this full moon is happening. So you also, it's possible that you might say, you know what, oh, I know Natalie said, oh, I'm supposed to go out and have a big party and have fun and be social, and my daily routine is feeling like it's calling me, and I want to be reliable and trustworthy. That's where it's Taurus energy in your daily life, daily routine area of your chart. So you might choose to instead, I'm going to be trustworthy, I'm going to be reliable in my daily life and not go out and have a big party. So all of those voices are all happening at once. And which one gets to be honored? It might be that the day before the full moon on April 5th, you honor one voice, April 6th, you honor another, and April 7th, you honor yet another. How does it feel to hear me say all this? I'm curious. I'd love to hear in the comments. Capricorn and Capricorn rising. This full moon in Libra is happening in your career area of your chart. Your career and your life in the public eye area of your chart. That sounds really exciting to me. I mean, first of all, you're Capricorn and a Capricorn rising. So it's like, oh yeah, I really do. I know my career I am able to work easily. Saturn is my ruling planet. I am a Capricorn. I am a Capricorn rising. That is helpful for me. I'm always supported in working and working hard. I have a strong sense of duty. And now you're being invited to bring in some yummy luxury to the way you work with this full moon. Is there something that you want to bring into, maybe it's my workplace? Maybe I want to like touch up my workplace with a beautiful painting. Is there a way that I want to, if I am a Capricorn rising, and I own my own business, do I want to bring some more beauty or a sense of love or gorgeousness to my workspace? Is that calling me? Because I do have, with this full moon in Libra as a Capricorn rising, it is also lighting up my home area of my chart. So can I feel good in my workspace and luxuriate in my workspace? Can this full moon give me some inspiration to do that? And then when I come home, which is the poles of this full moon, when I come home, then I can also have the freedom to be impulsive. I'll have creative libido available for my home life to do, like, say, oh, little Jimmy, yes, I felt so good in my workspace at home today that I felt so good in my work. Well, you probably work from home, actually, Capricorn risings, with what's going on now, but in my workspace, I felt so good, and I decorated it so nicely, and it's so beautiful that now that I'm at home with you, I have creative libido that is like energy for Aries. That's where the other side of this full moon pole is landing. I have energy to play with you. I have energy to be impulsive. Let's create some art. Let's do some fun things, little Jimmy. That's me as the parent, as a Capricorn rising. And you also are, with this full moon, you're being invited to dance in some of the fun areas of your chart as well. Like, you have a full packed fifth house with this full moon, Capricorn rising. So do you allow yourself to have fun? What does that look like for you? Could you, if you've been planning to create a garden this spring or buy some flowers, I feel like that would be a really nice step for you to take with the way this full moon is landing in your chart. Maybe you buy some bulbs of flowers to plant, and even if you don't have a garden, you get a little flower pot and plant that. It's a lot of Taurus energy, which for me is like, I'm going to connect in with Mother Earth. I'm going to connect in with the deliciousness of the flowers that will be blooming in May. It's this intention that is being set with this full moon. I want to say you might be feeling, with Pluto having moved into your, I mean, first of all, you also get a medal and a trophy for staying in your body while Pluto's been in your sign for like the past 15 years. I forgot to say that. Amazing work. Pluto's in Aquarius now. So he's in your second house and he's just saying hello. So there may be some questions about finances coming up for you, or do I feel powerful in my financial realm? If there's any sort of, who has the power financially for me? Can you invite this full moon that's happening in your career area of your chart to allow you to feel empowered? You are a powerful being of light and love, and you, as a Capricorn, span both the earth realms and the water realms, this diving into the depths that we don't even know what is down there in the deepest parts of our oceans, because our machines can't go down there. So maybe there's an invitation with this full moon to remember that about yourself. Like, I am actually a deeply spiritual being, not just an earth sign, which a lot of people get hung up on. The Capricorn is the goat. No, Capricorn is the mer beast. It's so cool. It's this like amazing bridge between what we see in the 3D realm and the spirit realm. That's how it feels to me. So I wonder what for you can get lit up in terms of a new way to feel nurtured and cared for in your career, so that you then have energy to come home and do your home life with more vim and vigor. And also that feels like it frees something up. Like if I tend to this part of my life, then I feel some freedom in other parts of it. How does this land for you? I'd love to hear Capricorn risings. Aquarius, Aquarius rising. So wonderful. This full moon is landing in your, I am in your ninth house. I am changing and growing, expanding my consciousness, expanding my knowing. I might be stepping into some sort of illumination of me as the teacher, or I am finding a teacher that helps me to feel illuminated. I might be planning trips and travel with this full moon coming around. The full moon might be the illumination that allows you to plan your travel and your trips and where am I going to go next. Maybe like catch my breath. Maybe there's this invitation for you to go on trips and journeys and go around the world, the multiverses in your inner world. Maybe there's that comes up. Maybe there's this invitation to say, oh my gosh, there's all these interdimensions in my inner world that I haven't explored yet. And with this full moon in Libra, I feel inspired to do so. This is coming up for me, Aquarius rising, because about the fact that there is this idea that some people's charts are so, not that Aquarius is introverted, it is not the energy of it, but there are some people's charts that are so introverted, looking inside, that they have this incredible inner world that is so rich and so expansive and diverse that they really don't need to go out and be in relationship with other people because they're so connected to their inner worlds. And it's so magnificent and infinite. And that is coming up for me right now around this full moon. Like where it for you, Aquarius rising, I have so much richness inside me that there to be explored. Maybe that's something I do around this full moon. Maybe that comes up for me, or it does express itself also as outer journeys. Aquarius rising, this full moon is also lighting up the communication and writing, reading, neighbors and siblings area of your chart. So it's, how do I want to, whatever comes up for me, how am I relating to my neighbors? How am I relating to my siblings? How am I in relationship with my own inner, like my own inner sisters? Do I talk to them kindly? Am I kind to my the inner family members that, like, I have an internalized mother, I have an internalized father, I have an internalized sister, an internalized a brother. Do I talk to them kindly? Do I relate with Aphrodite energy, the goddess of love, or is it Aries energy, which is Martian, which can be aggressive? These are questions that might come up around this full moon for you. It is a nice trine. It's a harmonious energy. So I feel like it's a lovely, harmonious conversation that you get to allow this. It's almost like I'm an Aquarius rising, and I'm allowing there to be a moon bath. I'm going to lie in the moon's rays and allow the moon to bathe me in her light. Your family of origin house is lit up in terms of there's a lot of planets in it for this full moon. So you might feel like your home life and family of origin stuff might be up for you right now. So I want to offer validation if that's the case for you. Yeah, and so what can you do also to check in with yourself? Is there a way that I want to be in relationship with people who also want to, Libra relationship with people who want to expand their consciousness, ninth house, with people who want to learn and grow and go on journeys and not feel limited to the neighborhood they grew up. What comes up for me as an Aquarius rising around this? Can I invite people who have more expansive visions into my life with this full moon? I wonder how this lands for you. I'd love to hear in the comments if you feel open to sharing. Pisces and Pisces rising. I'm so happy to be with you. I am you. This full moon in Libra is happening in your 8th house. That's some magic. It's happening in your area of your chart that's around magic, the occult, other people's money, taxes. Interestingly, it's happening around tax season, at least here in this country. So you will be supported, Pisces rising, if you have not done your taxes yet, to do your taxes. You also are being invited with this full moon in Libra to, I don't know how, I mean, if you are Pisces rising, I'm imagining you already have a connection with spirit, a connection with guides, angels, goddess, whatever works for you. Maybe there's, what do you want to do? Maybe there's, because it's Venus is involved in this conversation, is there some sort of beautiful new way that you, beautiful Venus, new way that you want to invite spirit to communicate with you, just for this full moon or in general? Is there a way that you want to also connect in with the fact that Pluto has just begun to traverse your 12th house? You have the way you communicate with your guides, angels, spirit, and the way you think about death is about to have something like a 20-year conversation and be transformed over and over and over. So maybe this is an opportunity with this full moon trining your 12th house, the way the full moon is landing. Maybe there's an invitation for you to say, this is the way I connect with spirit, angels, guides, and this is the way I check in with the energy of death right now. And I am going to take a mental snapshot of this at this moment and then notice as the next 20 years go by how it changes, how it transforms, what comes up for me around it. Saturn's in your 1st house, Pisces rising. So you are getting an invitation to restructure, resystemize, rethink the way you lead out into the world with your sense of self. You're getting some great support. I actually think, I know people are like, oh, Saturn's moving into Pisces. Oh, yikes, as a Pisces. And I see it as an amazing opportunity to have Saturn supporting you in creating some systems and structures that don't come so easily to the energy of Pisces. So this full moon with Venus as the full moon ruler is an opportunity and an invitation to allow some loveliness, some beauty into the conversation, to allow yourself to remember that the planets are, you can call on the planets to support you. You can say, Saturn, oh, Kronos, oh, God of time, Saturn in my 1st house, I invite you to really support me and to allow me to create structures and systems in ways that I haven't been able to before, to contain some of this mutable water that I am as a Pisces rising. You also have the 2nd house is full of energy for this full moon. You have your 2nd house finances. It's full of energy, impulsive energy. So if you come up with an exciting idea during this full moon of how to bring in money and finances to yourself, or something about how to shift and change your physical health, I would listen to that. You have an illumination happening with this full moon. That's exciting. The creative impulse might just come to you like, oh, let's do this. Let's jump off this cliff and see how this lands. You might not finish it up, but it's okay. You can start it and see what happens. And you have a really delicious Venusian soft landing as well in the way you communicate and the way your mind works for this full moon, with the third house so populated with planets in Taurus, in the sign of Taurus. So when you go to communicate, Pisces rising, I feel like you'll be having a softness and a gentleness to your words. Venus will be flavoring them for this full moon. So I feel like that's supportive if there's any sort of conversation you want to have come up with your relationships, with the way you communicate with your partners, your family members, your job. You have Venus flavoring your words for this particular full moon. So that feels supportive as well. I'd love to hear how this lands for you, Pisces risings. My beautiful friends, thank you all so much for trusting me as your astrologer, at least for this particular full moon. Thank you, Nadiya Shah, for allowing me to be a guest on your channel again. It is truly an honor and a privilege, and I am humbled. I hope that something about what I've said feels helpful and supportive to you. Again, you can find me on Natalie Levin Astrology. That's my YouTube channel. And you may also find me at my website, natalielevinastrology.com. And I'm on Instagram at Natalie Levin Astrology. Facebook is just Natalie Levin. It's not Natalie Levin Astrology. Facebook is Natalie Levin. I am so happy to be with you all. Thank you all so much for trusting me with full moon guidance for this April 6th full moon in Libra 2023. I think it's going to be it looks really beautiful to me. We've been through so much in March, and this feels like a bit of a breath, Libra air sign, a breath of fresh air filled with love. Libra ruled by Venus. So I am so grateful you're all still in your bodies with me. Thank you for choosing to incarnate, and I look forward to hearing from you about how this video lands with you.